back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. Taking a look at Worldcoin today, one of my favorite altcoins. The question is, will we reach $1 before Christmas? We're going to dive in and try to answer that for you today. So, we got Worldcoin here on the weekly time frame, hovering about 58, 59 cents. Not looking too good, guys. Not looking too good, but don't give up on me yet. I think there is relief and hope to come. We are currently trading below this value area range on the weekly time frame of the entire life of Worldcoin, just below the range, guys. So anybody who knows anything about the volume profile knows this is not good. We've got to get back above this weekly value area low at about 63-ish cents, 64 cents. Got to get back above that, guys. If we can do that, then we're going to expect the law of the volume profile to at least go to the point of control. You break through that, then you come all the way up to the value area high. That's how this works, guys. Come back in, back test, hit this, dance around for a little bit, and then boom, up to the point of control. And from there, you break out or you break back down and rinse and repeat. So let's take a look and see what the chances of us doing that are and what the chances of us doing that by Christmas. That's just a couple of weeks away, guys. So here we're looking at the bottom two indicators. The first one, this kind of white and blue, the weirdy color one right here is BBWP. It's a measure of volatility, okay? So depending on the time frame you're on, when this thing is headed up, that means price action is more aggressive. When it's headed down, that means price action is cooling off. Now, it can be cooling off or headed up on a higher term time frame, but not just ripping one way or the other, depending on the lower time frames. But generally, the lower time frames bleed over to the higher time frames. This is a very, very reliable and powerful indicator, okay, especially on the higher term time frames, daily and up. So the direction of volatility does not indicate which way price is going, okay? In order to determine which way price is going, we look down at the stochastic, okay? So when volatility comes below this orange line, that's 15%, we call that contraction, volatility contraction. When it comes back above, we call that expansion. That means speed is picking up, aggressiveness in the price action is picking up, okay? We're on the weekly time frame here, and you can see we did have expansion here back in September, and when it crossed the 15, that signals expansion. We're on the weekly now. We looked down at stochastic to determine the direction, okay? And it was headed up. So we knew we would get a big aggressive move to the upside, and we did. That's this big candle right here. You got expansion right there on this white candle, and we moved up 150%, guys, just in a couple of weeks. I mean, this is really more like just a few days, actually. But within 2 weeks, these are weekly long candles, but I remember this move, and it happened in just a few days. You got 150% rally the last time you got this. Now, volatility continued to go up, okay? It didn't come back down. It continued to go up, which means the aggressiveness of the move continued. However, you can see right here that stochastic on the weekly flipped to the downside as volatility continued up. So that would have let you know you're fixing to get a big, aggressive, violent move to the downside, which is exactly what happened. You can see that here, guys. If you measure from, let's just say the candle closed to the bottom, an 82% drop, and currently on about a 62% drop. Okay, guys? Do you see how that happened, though? Let me show you if you missed it when I went over it. This is important. This is like a great metric. So volatility was headed up, right? See that? While stochastic was headed up, okay? And what happened? Big aggressive move to the upside. Then, while volatility was still headed up, you got stochastic switched to the downside, which means you continue with an even greater intensity because the volatility was getting higher, so the intensity of the move was getting higher while price stochastic switched down, which gave you this huge move to the downside, okay? You're probably asking me now, Anthony, what in the world does that have to do with anything? All right, here's where we come in. Volatility is still up. It's starting to contract a little on the weekly, so it could be chilling out or it could just be doing a little fake out. You can see right here, we did the same thing, kind of contracted a little, and then boom, right back to the upside, okay, on volatility. So we could get that, and we look at the lower time frames to see if what's happening there, because that typically bleeds over to the higher time frames. However, we are hovering right here. See the crossing up is at 58.5. We're at 58.6 right now. So we do have stochastic stochastic headed to the upside, which means if volatility expands again, if volatility begins headed back to the upside, we can expect some significant upside momentum in Worldcoin. And you can go back and take a look at these volatility metrics all throughout the life of Worldcoin. Again, I'll show you the indicators. Look at the bottom here, BBWP. And then I've got, you can just use regular stochastic. I've got a special stochastic on here, but you can just use regular stochastic along with BBWP. By the caretaker is the scriptwriter of that, the caretaker. So let's flip down to the daily time frame and see what that looks like, okay? Lower time frames, okay, so you got volatility contracting. That's coming down. That means price action slowing down, and you can see that here. It is trending down, obviously, because you can see stochastic is headed down and has been headed down this entire time. You did have a little spike for one day up, but generally been headed down. But with volatility contracting, that means the pace is slowed down. It's not this big aggressive. It's more like a downward sideways action here, okay? Does that make sense? All right, so what we want to see now that we've contracted is another expansion. Maybe hang on in here for a few days or a week or so and then expand back up while price climbs above 61.5 cents, and that will flip stochastic back to the upside, and we can get this big move up. It initiates here, okay? That bleeds over to the weekly, which we've already shown is already headed to the upside, okay? But we need the price to move here on the daily in order for the weekly volatility to head back to the upside. Now, what would give us an indication that that might happen? It might be like, well, Anthony, this thing's just going to hang out. Why do you think it might happen before Christmas? Great question. For that, everybody knows that altcoins, for the most part, follow Bitcoin. So let's flip over to the Bitcoin chart really quick and take a look. Let's go to the 10-day, a big high time frame, okay? Which means big, powerful moves. Look at the last time, right here, the last time that you got, let me throw our line on here. I'm sorry, I don't have it on the 15%. Somewhere about there. Sorry about that, guys. I did not have it on the chart already. So here we are about 15%, a little bit higher than 15% right there, but you get the gist. We're right in there. Okay, so last time right here, see my cursor? The last time we got volatility contraction and then expansion. Okay, that means volatility started picking up. What happened at that point? We could follow down. We could see that stochastic on the 10-day was flattening out, and then after one period, it flipped to the upside. You see that? After one period, it flipped to the upside. So volatility was expanding while stochastic was moving to the upside. And look what Bitcoin did for you guys. 60% rally, guys. Boom, just like that, okay? Let's go back to the time before that. You can see right here, you get volatility expansion, right? Comes down and contracts, hangs out here a while, then you get expansion. Now, this is a 10-day time frame, so it's a long time frame. But by the time you got expansion, what happened? Stochastic was headed up, okay? But price did not really start heading up until volatility expanded. You could see, even though stochastic was headed up here, you didn't get much. A little bit of a move up, but not much. As soon as you got expansion, what happened, guys? 88% moved to the upside. I mean, go back and test it. Same thing here. Look, you don't even have to draw it out. I don't have to measure it out. Look, volatility expands, stochastic is upside, boom, gone. Okay, let's look at today. Today, guys, volatility has expanded 10-day time frame. So each of these moves up I just measured out took some time, a couple of months. But look here, 10-day time frame on Bitcoin, volatility headed up. Stochastic, you can see crossing down below 84.8, which means it's headed up. You see the blue line headed up, just barely, but it's bottomed out just like all the other of these really big moves. Bottomed out stochastic, headed up, volatility headed up. You can expect a large move up on Bitcoin imminent, coming soon. So what do you think is going to happen to your altcoins when Bitcoin hits this massive retracement, this massive bounce to the upside? They're going to go up at a greater pace, okay? So look at our Worldcoin. We can expect the same, guys. We're already setting it up for it. And what could that mean for us here? Well, you get back into this volume area range, which we just got above. Look, just as I'm filming this video, we got back above it. So that's great, right? So our little move just to the point of control of this range would be a 56% move. That's at about 90 cents, okay? Title of this video is to $1. I think minimum by Christmas, we could see a 90-cent Worldcoin. I don't think that is it, though, because the Bitcoin moves, those 10-day volatility expansion moves, usually last about 2, sometimes 3 months. about 2 months though. So I think this continues over into January, and we can see significant move up. If we can get above the point of control, we can expect to come take out this high right here at about 220, and at least into this value area high at about 228, 230, somewhere in that area, guys. Okay. Now, if we can get above that to 250, that's my line breakout. If we break 250, guys, we're going to 450 fast. There's a volume gap up there. So I would look by the end of January-ish, middle of February at the latest, Worldcoin to be somewhere around 225, okay? That's my target. I think we hit a minimum of 90 cents by Christmas, 225 by the end of January, and depending on what Bitcoin does there, we could continue up or consolidate, maybe even move back down. We'll reevaluate when we get there, but that's how I see Worldcoin, guys. I see big things in Worldcoin. If you follow Worldcoin, you know when it starts moving, it moves fast. Guys, if you found this content useful, be sure you click the subscribe button below. Switch over to my Discord. I've got it in the description of the video and in the pinned comments. Join my free or VIP Discord. We give all of our Bitcoin and altcoin trade setups. We would love to have you. I will see you next time.